This post up here is where a drunk guy, he died. He hit that concrete post and he died right here. We're gonna talk about it right now. Today we're gonna talk about 10 safety tips. We want safety, right? We're gonna talk about 10 safety tips that hopefully will save your life. Motorcycling is not of itself inherently dangerous. It is, however, extremely unforgiving of an intention, ignorance, incompetence, or stupidity. Riding a motorcycle on the street should be and is a fun experience. Riding a motorcycle can be a beautiful experience. You just have to be alert. You have to pay attention. And you have to watch what's happening around you. So what does this mean? It means that every time you strap on a helmet and go riding on your motorcycle, it means that you have to put on your A game. You gotta always watch these trucks coming at you. You have to always stay to the right-hand lane if you're gonna be attacked by these vehicles. I'm at a site right here where a driver who was drunk without a helmet went ahead and hit this pole, this concrete pole. And sadly, this brother, he perished. Tip number 1, always wear a helmet when you're riding a motorcycle, right? Your head is soft. Our heads are much like eggs. They crack really easy. There was one time I saw this old man in Italy. He was riding just softly through an intersection. He fell down, he hit his head. His head cracked, he died instantly. Always wear a helmet. Tip number 2, never drink and drive. When you drink and drive, your chances of hitting poles like this go up dramatically. Also, you can die. You can actually die when you're riding that motorcycle drunk. Stay away from alcohol. If you're drunk, stay off the bike. Let's get a designated driver. Have somebody drive for you, because when you're impaired, your reflexes are slow, right? And then you can crash. You can hit yourself very hard and you can pass away. When we're heading towards the curve, we want to look ahead and make sure there's nobody coming in our lane. There's that emergency lane. If you need a lane, you have the lane. You're always watching what's happening over here. Make sure these guys don't come at you. Tip number 4, when you're turning left, you want to stay in the left-hand lane, right? And then make a left-hand turn. However, some people, they make a mistake. They go in the right-hand lane over here, and then they turn left. And that's very dangerous. Why? Because if a car or motorcycle is coming regular, and they go to the right and they turn left, guess what? There's going to be a collision. Now, when we're making a U-turn, we're going to slow down, get off the road a little bit. We're gonna stop and we're gonna look. There's a bike coming that way. There's a car. We're gonna go safe, right? We're gonna look through the rear view mirror. We're gonna proceed with the U-turn with caution. One rule of thumb I always do, if I'm gonna turn right, I look at my mirror and I turn right. If I'm gonna turn left, I'm gonna pass this guy right here. I'm gonna look left in the mirror and I'm gonna pass this guy. Tip number 7, always position yourself in a safe position. You want to look at the car, you want to be in the side, so maybe to the left or right, so that you're in his mirror ever. If you stand directly or if you ride directly behind the car, they may not be able to see you. So you want to kind of stay away from the car. And also you want to have like a little room if you have that emergency. You want to always know where you're at. I used to fly airplanes. And one of the things I learned when I flew airplanes, you're always, where are you going to crash land? You're going to go there or there. And when you're riding a motorcycle, it's much the same. You want to know where you're going to go in a case of an emergency. So you're not thinking about it, you're just doing it. Tip number 8 is position your eyes on the road. Position your eyes on this road. You want to just keep your eyes focused on the road, much like a video game. You just want to like see what's happening ahead of you. When you're riding on a motorcycle, you always want to pretend like you're on a video game, because you have to be alert. Here's a police officer, ambulance coming at us. We don't want to go in there. We want to stay on the road, right? There's a guy turning into the lane. We want to stay away. Safe. You want to know what's going on, because honestly, when you ride a motorcycle, it's much like being in a video game. Why? Because there's no room for mistakes. It's unforgiven. So if you make a mistake, it could be your life, right? So you don't want to make a mistake. You want to be on high alert always when you ride a motorcycle. When you're entering an intersection, you have to yield. You look both ways, make sure the coast is clear, then you can go. Tip number 10 is be alert, and don't worry about if there's people on the side of the road or what's happening over here or there. You always want to focus on that road, and you want to have a safety outlet. We talked about that. Where if there's emergency, you have a place to go. But don't worry about it, because people ask me, did you see me? I waved at you. And I said, no, I was looking at the road. So don't worry about people. Don't worry about like looking around and seeing what's happening. Just look what's happening on the road. If there's dogs and stuff on the road or anything, you want to watch out for anything that comes on the road that may get in your way. When riding a motorcycle, you must always remember that the people, the cars, they can't see you. So you always have to drive defensively, thinking that that guy may run into you, or that bike. When you're riding, you want to look for these obstacles here. There's work going on. There's cars coming. You might want to yield. We're going to go ahead and pull over and let this car go by. You never want to take any chances, right? When you're on a motorcycle, let them go by. They honk at you. There's somebody else coming. We're going to let them go by. You want to pass with care. Make sure that you have proper distance. You don't want to get any crashes when you're passing, right? No crashes. There's lots of dirt on this road. We want to be careful we don't slide out or hit any of that loose gravel. So you always want to be safety. See the ground? Look at the ground. There's lots of rocks on the ground. You got to be careful. You got to watch everything. When you're approaching a curve, you look at the dirt. There's lots of dirt, rocks. There's a safety lane there. So if you have an emergency over this way, you want to come over to the safety lane. That's it, the 10 safety tips. Riding the motorcycle. We got motorcycles riding right by here. We want to be safe on that motorcycle, right? We have only one life. We're not like cats. We don't have 9 lives. We have one life, and we must be safe. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on the road, talking about safety tips, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you subscribing to the channel. We're going to talk more motorcycles. So thanks so much, and we're going to see you next time.